Hey guys, we're here again today at HardRacing. We're doing today the R3 project bike. We're going to be installing this Aero full system. And what's really nice about this is a two-part exhaust. You basically have the slip-on that you can purchase up front by itself, bolt that onto your stock exhaust, and then down the road if you want, you add the headers and the tailpipe. So it's kind of a nice upgradable exhaust. If you can't afford to get the full system all at once, you can build it as you go, which is really cool. They have a bunch of different kind of canisters to choose from. We are choosing the full carbon fiber, as you can see here, and the price is obviously dependent on the canisters that you go with, but it's kind of a nice a la carte full system that you can choose from. And we're going to go ahead and install this full system here on the R3 project bike and show you how easy it is to take off the stock exhaust and just go ahead and bolt this one up. As many of you know, Aero exhaust is pretty much one of the top exhaust brands in the world. It's used on a lot of the factory race bikes in the World Superbike class. They've been around a long time. Truly Italian top quality exhaust. Beautiful welds. Excellent craftsmanship. Fit and finish on it is amazing. The quality of the materials, and of course the power, the sound, everything with Aero is just top notch. The one little thing that we'll note here is on the exhaust, the way it normally comes, this O2 sensor bung is made for your stock O2 sensor, which is a little bit smaller. We are going to be running a Power Commander auto tune, so we actually swapped that stock one out with this larger 18mm one. So that's going to be the only difference between what you would get and what we have here. But it still does include, from Aero, the exhaust bung for your stock exhaust.
Okay, so the first thing we want to do is remove the stock exhaust. So first you want to remove these two bolts here, the cat bolt and the header bolts. Okay, so now I'm going to take the header bolts off. So the next step is you want to loosen or remove the O2 sensor from the exhaust. You got one of two ways. You can go ahead and just unbolt it from the exhaust, or just at least get some slack in it if you don't want to do it just yet, so that whenever you do drop the exhaust it doesn't bind or damage the wire. So the last two bolts you want to remove are the cat bolts. So you got one on this side and you have one on the other side. So as soon as you remove those bolts, the exhaust is going to drop. So you either want to make sure you have a friend to help you, or if you don't, at least have some support underneath it to protect that exhaust from dropping. And that's your stock exhaust. So as you see here, there are two copper exhaust gaskets. If your bike's fairly new, you shouldn't need to replace those. You can reuse these. Just want to basically inspect them, make sure they're okay. And if one of these falls out, just put it back in there. Put a little bit, like a dab of grease, just to hold it in place so it doesn't fall back out. Okay, so the next step you want to do is to lube the joints with the joint compound that was given in the exhaust package. And as you can see, we've done that here. And once you do that, then you will just want to install and put your headers together. So once you get the link pipe and the headers installed, if you go ahead and install the springs, it'll actually help to pull everything together. So one thing we've learned over the years, these types of springs like to pop loose. So just take a pair of needle nose pliers and just pinch the ends a little tighter so that there's less chance of them popping off. So next you want to go ahead and mount up the headers. So a helpful hint when you're installing the headers, you want to go ahead and move the flanges all the way to the top when you're installing them. Go ahead and put them on the studs. It'll make it a lot easier. So for right now, we just have these hand tightened. I'm not going to tighten them down completely until we have everything else lined up. So next you're going to take this supplied bolt, the 2 washers, and the nut, and fasten it and tighten the center mount. So next you want to go ahead and lube the inner joint of the canister, and then once you do that, we'll go ahead and slide it on the connecting tube. Okay, once you've got that situated where you like it, go ahead and install the spring on the back here. Okay, so now that we've done that bolt, next you want to go ahead and slide your clamp down the exhaust can and take your stock bolt, slide it in, and tighten that down. Okay, so the next step you want to do is go ahead and tighten down your header bolts all the way. Really important, you want to alternate as you tighten each one. You don't want to tighten one all at one time. You want to alternate, so just do a little bit at a time until they're all completely tightened. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fire it up and let you guys hear what it sounds like. And don't worry, we have already warmed up the motor. Okay, so that was with the DB killer installed, so now we're going to pull that out and let you hear it without the DB killer. Alright, so now that we pulled it out, we're going to fire it up without the DB killer. So for more information on the Aero exhaust or any other products, just give us a call or go to HardRacing.com. We'll get you taken care of.